Convinced that we'd have an American Union similar to the European Union by the year 2000. 8 years later, they're still pushing it, but they're behind their own schedule. Of course, this new North American trade agreement is part of the plot. The Intercontinental Highway linking Mexico, the United States, and Canada to be three countries without borders. Well, our borders are rather weak as they are, but officially without borders. Of course, it is to expand throughout the Western Hemisphere and evolve into the American Union.
What these police don't know is we've got the Bilderberg documents, how they put cancer viruses in the vaccines, with most of your mamas and daddies that these people murdered. What you don't know is they did engineer AIDS. Yeah, that isn't just Barack Obama's preacher saying that. That's a fact. Prince Bernhard, SS officer, founded this. This is a Nazi eugenics society. They are pledged to reduce the world's population. They see us as animals. You are guarding arch criminals.
One-child policy is obviously aimed at reducing the population on Earth, and of course with abortion and starvation and disease, they make great progress. In fact, some economists tell us that 1 billion people, 1 out of 7 million people on this planet are likely to die because of these policies. Well, Bilderberg never found a tax it didn't like. Carbon tax would be, well, their favorite world tax, though, it was taxing oil at the wellhead. So it'd be a direct tax for anybody who buys gasoline for their car, lawnmower, or for whatever purpose, be paying directly a tax to the United Nations. I have a source inside Bilderberg. He's very reliable. I could not identify him any further because he's sticking his neck out, putting his own life on the line to help us get the truth to you.
Tell us what they told you, if anything, about Iran. Is the attack on Iran on?
It's still pending. They had a very brisk discussion. It's interesting that Bilderberg's own list of participants left out the name of Defense Secretary Robert Gates, but he's positively identified entering here yesterday. The source inside Bilderberg reports that he made the case for war in the same propaganda style that's been conducted over the last several months. He talked about how Iran is a nuclear threat to the whole world, to all of mankind, and we must do something. He cited the name escapes me at the moment. I've got it. I'll have it in the newspaper because it's on the notes upstairs. But a former defense minister of Israel, who is a candidate for prime minister, said bluntly that Israel will attack Iran if Iran does not dispense with its nuclear weapons program, which Iran already has, but they refuse to recognize the fact that Iran has. Condoleezza Rice, Secretary of State, followed with her usual talk about how nothing, which means war, nothing can be taken off the table. But this was met with a great deal of dissent from the European Bilderbergs, such questions as, why do you want to fight a war for Israel? Where does Iran hide its nuclear weapons? In Saddam Hussein's tomb? There's more banter of that nature, and the United States was simply told, if you attack Iran, it'll be a solo mission. Do not expect help from any of us, including NATO, if you invade Iran. So the dissent is there.
We have moles and sources inside every one of your meetings. We know Secretary of Defense Robert Gates came here and pushed for a premeditated illegal attack on Iran. We even know that large numbers of the Bilderberg group themselves know that they shouldn't do it. Not that they aren't criminal warmongers, but that they know it will bring the planet down against them. You are failing on every front. You have and you will be fully defeated.
Well, the Defense Secretary always attends, as does the Secretary of Treasury, state high officials of the White House, and other government officials. The significance, of course, is the looming potential invasion of Iran. In 2002, then Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld tried to pacify the European Bilderbergs by saying there would be no war this year. And he was correct. It was March of 2003 before the invasion of Iraq took place. So the fact that there's no promise made not to do it this year, well, if he doesn't do it this year, he can't do it at all. He's out of office January the 20th. And I don't think any president wants to go to war on the 15th of January when he's going to be out of office on January 20th. So the significance is that the United States government is still holding out the possibility of invading Iran, and we can only hope that the Bilderbergs, European Bilderbergs, prevail in their pressure. It's quite unusual. All these years I've never known Bilderberg be significantly split over one particular issue. And this is also not to say the European Bilderbergs are the peacemongers, the Americans are the warmongers, because all other wars the European Bilderbergs celebrated.
Now again, this is a source inside Bilderberg?
Yes. Not our daily, hourly conversation with a source at a particular hour during the day.
And this isn't your only source, though?
Yes, but he's, I can't document too closely, but he's quite knowledgeable about what's taking place.
And he doesn't like what's happening?
No. I can't identify him too closely because he's sticking his neck out to help us.
How dare you write in that Club of Rome document that you would use fake terror to take our liberties and freedoms away? How dare you? You know, people that work in these hotels, they'll never talk to us when we first arrive before you arrive. They're told that they'll be fired if they talk about what happens. But after they're told they can't look you in the eye or talk to you, after you treat them like crap, after you push them around, after they hear the evil stuff you're talking about, they always spill their guts and give us your documents because they know evil scum when they see it.
Today they were raising the question of should we cap the price of oil at its present very high level. They're talking about we may have reached the point of diminishing returns because as Americans convert to small fuel-efficient cars, go to alternative transport commuting such as mass transit, buses, railroads, it may be less profitable in the years ahead for Americans to consume so much less because Americans are the biggest consumer. So they're seriously considering capping the rise in oil prices. Now, capping the rise in oil prices when gasoline is costing $4 a barrel, $4 a gallon to Americans, does not make us feel real good. It makes us feel less bad than if it went even higher than it is now. So we can hope that they will at least go ahead and cap the rise in oil prices so that while it's a bad situation, it's not made even worse.
They own the major political parties. They own Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, John McCain. Can you speak to how they own these people?
Well, they always own both horses. The only candidate they don't own, of course, is Ron Paul. And he's got them very upset as they were trilaterals. Their little brothers were equally upset because he's going to conduct an ongoing education program. And the fact that so many thousands of young people are turning out to his rallies and learning about the Constitution and how it's being defamed by the government and the Congress is doing violence to the Constitution, that's got their little knickers in a knot. But the fact that Ron Paul's rallies are attended by thousands of young people, they're dedicated, they're fiercely loyal, and they're being educated on the Constitution and how the executive branch and the Congress, and in some cases the Supreme Court, are doing violence to the Constitution. And they see this as a threat in the years ahead as these young people grow older and more young people get educated. They're just afraid of an informed public. That's why the blackout on Bilderberg coverage in the first place by the kept press.
We're talking about the Bohemian Grove and trying to see what locals think about it.
You're talking about the Bohemian Grove, quote-unquote elite and presidential retreat.
I can't even begin to imagine what we're going to discover when I infiltrate tomorrow. What about the rituals? Have you heard anything about the rituals that go on?
Oh, there's all kinds of rumors about rituals. Oh, no. It's politicians.
And now we're going to infiltrate.
I think we should go and see what we can see.
Do you worry for Alex, Violet?
I do. Alex gets so impassioned by what he's doing that sometimes I'm afraid that he might be a little too fearless.
Well, we're inside the Bohemian Grove.
Sits on earth sets us free.